Good day, Prof Skills 2 students. This is lesson 23, and we're going to be talking about creative problem solving. So recall your answers from the last class. What do you think creative problem solving is? The other questions were, what was the last problem you solved? Had you solved it before? Was it a new one? And to think about all the adaptations you've made during lockdown. So just think about these as we go through this class. Please do the self-assessment exercise on page 304. Pause this video and come back when you're done. So do you consider yourself creative? As I said in the last class, a lot of people don't really think that they're creative because they think that creative means that you're good at art or good at music. But this isn't really true. All of us are creative all the time in so many different ways. Mishra and Hendrickson in 2017 put forward an acronym for creativity. If something is novel, so new, effective, it works, and whole, it is creative. I don't necessarily even think that it needs to be effective and whole, because what creative really means is that you are creating something new. And that can be in so many different areas of life. So think about the different ways in which you are creating new things. And you're creating new things with yourselves every day. On a very basic level, you're creating brand new cells every single minute of every day. And you're also creating a lot of different things for yourselves. Right now, you're creating your futures with these studies. You're creating a personality. You're creating a brand. Think about how you are creating things for yourselves every single day. So this acronym is a great way to think of creativity. You're creating a new thing that's novel or original, it's effective, it does what it's supposed to, and whole, it's complete. So with this new definition in mind, and with the definition that I put forward as well, do you now consider yourselves to be creative? And I hope that the answer for everyone is yes. And I do challenge you to assess what ways in your life you are being creative every single day. So the creative problem-solving skill concepts are the following. Success in the workplace and in life often involves us making the right decisions at the right time, but decision-making really is only one part of the problem-solving process. Unless a problem has been defined and its causes identified, it's really difficult to solve, and also we won't be sure if it will happen again if we don't really know why it happened. Effective problem solvers are really effective at gathering and evaluating information that they use to define and clarify a problem. They also know the value of generating more than one action alternative. So plan A and plan B. This is a question I actually often ask my Prof Skills students. What is your plan B? What are you going to do if that doesn't work? Because often in life, plan A doesn't work. And the thing that does work is a combination of plan B, C, D, E, and F. So this chapter explains how to be a creative problem solver, and we're going to be using a problem-solving technique. We're going to be tapping into individual and group creativity, and also looking at applying quality control. So these are the steps involved for solving interpersonal problems. Now, this is important. It's an interpersonal problem. It's a problem between two or more people. Your problem necessarily has to involve at least one other person for it to be an interpersonal problem. So problem solving here is defined as the process of eliminating the discrepancy or the difference between the actual and the desired situation. So in a relationship at work, you can even use this in your personal lives. There is a discrepancy between what is actually happening and what the ideal or desired situation could be. A problem is actually an opportunity for improvement, and this is how I would like you guys to always look at your lives. Failure is never final. Problems are never final. There's always a solution. There's always a chance to learn, and that's a development mindset. It's a way of creatively thinking how to improve yourselves, how to get better in every single situation. So your homework for today, other than thinking about the ways in which you are creative, but I want you to try to replace the word problem with the word opportunity in your speech. So rather than saying things like, I have a problem, think about it as you have an opportunity. You have an opportunity to develop, become better, and improve. So if we approach problem solving, or opportunity generating rather, with a positive mindset, we're more likely to solve problems. than we are to ignore or avoid them. Because if we look at it as a problem, it seems like something that is really difficult to do. Whereas if we look at it as an opportunity, it seems like it's going to be fun and exciting and great to tackle. So to solve any kind of problem, we need to become aware of it. That's the first important step. If you don't know that there's a problem, you'll never fix it. And acknowledge that it's there. So we need to define it and analyze it. Alternative solutions need to be generated. A solution needs to be selected. And the solution needs to be implemented. And this process really should ring a bell. It is very similar to the process involved in the GROW model of coaching that we covered earlier in the semester. So the first step is problem awareness. In the workplace, we need to be proactive. And what this means is that we need to be on the constant lookout for existing or potential problems, or rather, potential or existing opportunities, ways that we can improve, or things that might not work out the way that we want them to work out, but you can put steps in place to make sure that they do work out in the best possible way. And one of the ways to do this is to keep all of your channels of communication open, to monitor performance, and to evaluate past experiences. And a lot about professional skills is this process of reflection. How much reflection are you putting into your behavior? So when you go home at the end of a busy day, do you reflect on how you behaved and figure out ways that you can improve upon this behavior? This is one of the first steps of problem awareness, creative problem solving. So problem awareness involves establishing a trust bond. This is an interpersonal problem. So you need to have the trust in your relationship that both parties are wanting to solve the problem. You need to be able to clarify your objectives. Where are you now and where do you want to be going? Assess current situation. What is wrong with where we are going now, and identify the problems in this current situation. So next is problem definition, defining the problem, because if you don't define it, nobody will know what they are solving. Information needs to be gathered and analyzed so that everyone knows the exact details of the issue that needs to be solved. Try not to make assumptions, as this really can take you down the wrong path. So ask questions. Make sure everybody is on the same page so that you don't end up going in a direction that nobody needs to be going in. So problem definition, you analyze problems and you agree on problems to be solved. The next phase is decision making. This step helps you develop a course of action that will improve the relationship to an acceptable state, to something that benefits everybody. There's often more than one solution to a problem, and this is where creative problem comes in. And we've spoken about this in other lectures. Think about this when you are watching TV. The course of action that the characters take, is that the only course of action available to them? Why did they take this action, do you think? And were there actions that actually would have been better options for them? So here, the decision making involves you establishing criteria, developing action alternatives, evaluating the alternatives, and deciding on a plan. Next, it's time to implement your action plan, because this is the most important part. No plan is any good unless it's implemented effectively. How this action plan is accomplished connects the decision with reality. And this includes assigning of tasks, responsibilities, and implementing some kind of schedule. And definitely having some kind of feedback mechanism. Is this working? Do we need to alter things as we go along? So again, action plan implementation, you assign tasks and responsibilities, you establish an implementation schedule, you reinforce the commitment, and then you activate the plan. And then you follow through. So this involves the development and maintenance of positive attitudes, and that really can be tough. Making sure that everybody is positive, motivated towards the solution. So the following steps can be followed. You can visualize yourself in the position of others who are implementing the plan so that you can understand their feelings and their perspectives. You can establish sincere respect and concern and make sure that all resources are available. And again, to follow through, you should establish criteria for success, determine how to measure performance, monitor results, and take corrective action. Here are a few ways to determine how creativity can be encouraged. So to encourage creativity in others, you have to be willing to absorb the risk of failures. Anything that's changed, anything that's new, you run the risk of failure. That's not a bad thing. Every single day, you run the risk of failing in so many different ways, and often this doesn't deter us. Anytime you cook a meal, you run the risk of messing it up, no matter how many times you've cooked that meal. But if you do mess it up, I don't know, you either eat it and move along, or I guess some people might throw it away. And you learn from that experience. You don't make that mistake again. And this is what failure needs to be, a learning opportunity. You have to be able to live with half-developed ideas. And this is why I disagreed with the creativity definition earlier on of ideas being whole, because sometimes the best ideas are developed together with other people. They're creative from beginning to end. And making everybody come to you with only full ideas can often squash creativity. You need to be a good listener. We've covered listening quite extensively. You shouldn't dwell on mistakes, because once mistakes are made, the only thing you can really do is move past them, as long as you learn from them. You should trust your intuition, and we've discussed intuition and your gut quite a few times already. So trust what your body is telling you, and to be enthusiastic and motivated. Please complete the concept quiz on page 310 of your textbook. Pause this video and come back when you're finished. The behavioral checklist for being a creative problem solver involves establishing trust with all people involved, identifying all problems in a negative situation, analyzing problem sources and consequences, deciding what to do after evaluating all alternatives, implementing the best action plan in a timely manner, following through by measuring results and taking corrective actions, and encouraging creativity from all participants. Alright, in the next class we're going to be having a practical class on creating creative problem solving, so please bring pen and paper if you don't already have that with you to the next class. And please don't forget your homework. Replace the word problem with the word opportunity, and think about the different ways in your life that you are creative every single day. See you in the next class.